Hello there, and welcome to a special Unlocking the Holocron episode. Today's topic, Luke and Ahsoka Tano. Luke Skywalker and Ahsoka Tano.
Are we ever going to not have a special episode of Unlocking the Holocron?
They're all special.
They're all special.
Yeah, they're all little babies.
They're all little...
But this is pure... We're here today because the recent comments Dave Filoni made about them in the making of gallery episode of The Mandalorian. Because for some reason, people got mad. And it's just a fun discussion to have about Ahsoka, Luke, their fighting style.
Get mad?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure just making sure it wasn't just you heard people got mad.
I heard people, I saw a bunch of tweets of people being,
upset.
Describing Ahsoka's, history, dunking on people who are like, there's no way she's more powerful than Luke. Even though that's not even what Filoni said.
Yeah.
He didn't say it. So, as joining me as always, Sith Holocron, Naomi. Hello, how you doing?
Hi.
Jedi Holocron, me. Hello.
Me.
I'm here.
Me, Jedi.
Me, Jedi. You, Sith.
Me, Sith.
We fight. But yeah. So, he made some comments about the fact that Luke's fighting style would be evolved, but not incredibly evolved because who was training him?
Yeah.
And honestly, Filoni didn't even know, which is interesting in itself.
I feel like he's self-taught at this point.
Yeah, I feel like it's all self-taught.
Or a holocron.
Yeah, because there's no Jedi.
Because Ahsoka had a holocron that had Anakin teaching forms on it in Rebels.
Yeah.
Those were cursed Rebels Anakin came from.
Yeah.
I feel like he could be learning from holocrons.
Yeah.
Which would explain why he got better, but not
too much.
Not absurdly.
Not years of experience. I fought during the Clone Wars. Ahsoka. Because Luke is probably more powerful than Ahsoka.
Absolutely.
In terms of force, purely just from family lineage.
If you're talking about force power, Luke is in the top 5. If you're counting the Mortis gods as well.
Yeah.
It would be the Mortis gods, Anakin, Luke.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he does not have a lot of fighting experience.
No. Ahsoka's a fighter. She's been doing that her whole life.
If you're talking about... The thing is that I feel like a lot of people misinterpreted. For some reason, I feel like people interpreted it as...
Fighting means power.
Force.
Yeah.
Yeah. When fighting is a measure of skill.
Yeah.
Not
technique,
raw strength.
Strength comes into it, but if you don't have skill, it don't mean anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Raw strength can only get you so far if you don't have the right technique. And raw technique can get you way farther than raw skill can.
Yeah.
Or raw power, I mean.
There are tons of Jedi who weren't the most powerful, but they had the technique to get down. Ahsoka.
Obi-Wan's the perfect example.
Obi-Wan
was kind of just averagely powerful with the Force.
Yeah.
But he was so skilled and trained and masterful in his approach to it that it made him such a god.
Yeah.
You spaced out there?
Yeah, I heard my phone. I spaced out. So yeah. But yeah. Ahsoka?
Keep in mind, Ahsoka fought in a war for 3 years.
Yeah, and then after the war, she was on the run for years because of the Order 66. And the stuff she did during that time, we don't know most of it, but she literally held her own with Vader in Rebels.
Yeah.
Because of her technique, not because of her power.
Luke, I will always say until the day that I die, the only reason Luke won against Vader is because Vader was holding back and didn't want to kill his son.
Yeah.
Vader was not going all out there.
Yeah. Is Vader more powerful than Luke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Vader has both the experience and the raw power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I will say that I know a lot of people like to jerk off Luke Skywalker, but I don't see a way that he beat Vader without Vader holding back.
Yeah. I don't think he could beat Ahsoka in a fight.
I don't think he could either.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. That's why there's no way he could have beat Vader unless Vader was holding back.
Right. He has the power to do it, but not the skill. But also, the thing that people get mixed up with power and skill and all that things is he's an incredible Jedi.
Oh, absolutely.
And a force wheeler. He's not an incredible fighter.
Yeah.
which is okay.
Which is what a Jedi is kind of meant to be.
Yeah.
They're kind of meant to be more wise and, like, use the Force for defense more than killing. But if we're talking about fighting skill, and that's not to say that he's still better than 99% of Jedi at fighting.
Yeah.
Like, it's not to say that, like, oh, he's shitty at lightsaber fighting. He's still better than pretty much any Jedi we see in the Clone Wars at lightsaber fighting. But Ahsoka and, like, you know, other
was trained by the best of the best.
Yeah, and, like, other, like,
Anakin,
main
Obi-Wan,
characters.
Plo Koon,
like, they're all have been fighting for, like, their entire lives, training with a lightsaber.
The thing that you talk about a lot, which you always find funny, which is a good example of, like, why he's not the most skilled fighter. Obviously, from Return of the Jedi to between that moment and when he starts his journey, he really doesn't have that much training. But also, when he's fighting Vader, like, when he gets angry and is just swinging his sword, that's not a skilled swordsman. He's just wailing.
He's just flailing.
Yeah.
And, like, admittedly, Anakin has done that from time to time. But, like, Anakin also, we see plenty of, like, really highly skilled maneuvers.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that's the thing is, Luke does not have much of any sword fighting experience, especially against other lightsabers. He's only lightsaber fought Vader, pretty much.
Yeah.
And Vader, who just really didn't want to kill his son.
Right, yeah.
Because he was trying to get Luke on his side.
Yeah. But, yeah, I just thought that was a really weird thing to come up from very comments that wasn't even talking about that.
Because look at it this way. In A New Hope, Luke Skywalker is 19. Ahsoka was 17 when she fought Darth Maul on Mandalore.
And
she fought Mandalorians on Mandalore and then battled an ex-Sith Lord when she was younger than Luke before he got his lightsaber.
Yes.
I think
best fighter in the galaxy.
She was probably 7. I don't know how old she was at the time, but she was younger than 19.
Yeah. You think she's the best fighter in the galaxy?
No.
Who's a better, like, fighter than her? Like
Anakin.
Yeah.
Anakin is the best sword.
He's the best, like, mixture of power and skill.
Yeah. If you're talking about pure swordsman, I think Dooku is definitely up there.
Yeah. Also, his, like, when we see him in Season 7 Clone Wars, especially when they're on that bridge, he is incredibly skillful. I don't think Anakin gets enough credit for how skillful he is.
Yeah, Anakin is the best combination because he has all the raw power and as well as being a incredibly masterful swordsman.
Yeah.
Luke has the power, not so much the swordsman. Ahsoka has not quite the power, but has the swordsman.
Yeah.
If her and Luke worked together, they would be stronger than Anakin.
Ben Solo. Power, but not skill.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's unrefined.
Yeah. Just like his crystals.
Just like Luke was.
Yeah.
And which I think is always interesting when you have the power, but not necessarily the skill.
Yeah.
Because then you know that they're going to be terrifying when they refine that
right.
power.
It's going to be a shame that...
But I would say Ahsoka is definitely up there.
Yeah, she's top 5 for sure.
Yeah, she's top 5 duelists.
Yeah.
Just because of how much... She was, like, 14 at the beginning of the Clone Wars.
Yeah. So, do we think anyone trained Luke after Episode 6? Other than you said, like, training from holocrons?
I personally think it'll mostly be holocrons.
Because I don't think Ahsoka trained him.
If she does, it wasn't this early, I don't think.
It wasn't pre-Mandalorian.
Yeah, I don't think
It'd be
so.
post-Mandalorian. I like that idea in theory, because I feel like they have to meet at some point.
Yeah.
For closure and just for, like, things. And honestly, just for...
The emotional
impact. And we say this all the time on this channel, if it's not animation, it's fucked.
Yes.
Because I love Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, but if you do her meet CG Luke, who's not actually Luke, and so you can have the original Ahsoka and the original Luke voice act the thing, like, it'd be a traumatic experience for me. Like, it really would.
I would be honestly devastated if they met in live action.
Yeah.
I would be very upset, honestly.
Yeah, because their meetings serve such a purpose too, for, like, her learning more about what happened to Vader and him learning more about the Jedi and trying to be better that.
I still think...
And maybe influence his trajectory going into The Last Jedi that people have problems with. Because that was the thing I thought of right after we saw the end of Rebels. Remember that? I was like, she's gonna meet Luke, and he's gonna be the reason he was the way he is in The Last Jedi.
No, yeah, that's
why he might lose doubt.
That's what I 100% believe is what
between
happened.
that and whatever happens with Grogu now. Like,
I 1000.
I wonder. Yeah. Sorry. My head's running a million miles an hour right now.
I 1000% believe that the reason he becomes dissuaded or I don't know what that word is, disenchanted to the Jedi is because Ahsoka would tell him the real story.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan and Yoda told him the fantasy version of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
They told him the
What they
idealistic
wanted to be.
version.
The way they should be.
Ahsoka would tell him the nitty-gritty, the what really happened.
Mm-hmm.
You think that he would still revere Jedi as much as he did if she told him about how she got arrested by the Jedi after being framed?
Yeah. And then, like, everything that happened, like... But, like I said, we don't know what happens with Grogu. Like, what... That has to be, like, a chink in...
absolutely.
Not a chink, a chip. Or in Luke's
crack.
A crack in Luke's armor.
Yeah.
Like, of his morale, of his, like... possibly failing, because, like, what happens there? Like, there's no way Grogu's gonna be a little Jedi. Like, he ain't gonna be a good fighter because he's getting trained by Luke. But, like, what is the pathway for that? Like, what happens there? What happens with Ben? And then, like, probably Luke, Ahsoka in the middle of that timeline.
His opinion on the Jedi is going to be a result of Ahsoka's knowledge that he learns. Because also, where else would he have learned that Sidious rose up to power being completely hidden from the Jedi?
Yeah.
Because Obi-Wan and Yoda didn't tell him that shit. It's going to be between that, whatever happens with Grogu, and then the final straw is when Ben destroys his order.
Yeah.
That's like the last straw that makes him completely
He's like, I give no
cut
hope.
off.
Like
I don't... where he's just like, I don't like the Jedi.
As much as I try to use these teachings, it won't... And then I like how he kind of, like, beats Rey, and that helps, like, him turn the corner. Yeah. And, like...
I still think the Jedi shouldn't come back at all, but
yeah,
that's a different topic.
Yeah. I like the Jedi just being a source of hope, though, for people.
Yeah, but...
Even though they're deeply flawed.
They need a new name.
Yeah.
And a new order.
Unaligned Force.
I know Jedi's too brandable, but if it were up to me, they would get a new name with their new morals going forward. Unless Rey makes the same mistake Luke did.
I hope not.
And it just repeats again.
If we ever see her again.
But, yeah, like, them meeting needs to be animated.
It will be devastating.
And just, like... I feel like... See, they definitely haven't met yet by the time of The Mandalorian Season 2. But I do feel like when they do meet, I could see her, like, help train him a little bit. Not, like, a lot. Just, like, a couple of, like, small teachings from Anakin.
What if her, Grogu, and, like, Luke have, like, a little arc where they're just, like, cruising the galaxy, training each other, and, like, stopping bad guys together? Like, you know?
Where would Ben be?
Is Ben around?
Well, like, he could be.
Yeah. He's chilling with Jason at the Jedi school, like, thinking of ideas, like, if they were bad guys, what would become? Be like, I'd be the Knights Ren, and Jason would be like, I'm never gonna be
those
that
sound
guy. My
lame.
dad's a hero.
No, Jason would just be like, Knights Ren, those sound really lame.
Yeah.
Those sound like they were a cool idea that didn't go anywhere.
Yeah. So true. And then, no, Kylo Ren would literally, right after that, be like, so true, bestie.
I'm gonna delete the channel now. After you just said that, I want to die.
That's very Ben Solo.
No, it's not.
He's a sweet, sweet boy.
Anyway. So, like, I could see Ahsoka teaching Luke a little bit of, like, lessons that Anakin specifically taught her, just to, like, continue the family line a little bit. Because also, they kind of are siblings.
Yeah.
Anakin was her dad.
Yeah. Really was.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
He was 100% her dad. He treated her like she was his daughter. He would, like, ground her, basically, when she wouldn't listen and shit like that. She's, like, Luke's older sister. So, like, them meeting and kind of sharing knowledge and... Of dad.
Yeah.
And then also, like, her helping him a little bit would also, like, show him becoming, like, the Grand Master that he is later.
Her giving him the finishing touches on his training that he needs to get there. And it's also, like, a little back to, like, all these people having an effect on Luke's trajectory. I feel like between whatever happens with Ben Well, we know what happens with Ben. What happens with
Between
Ben,
whatever happens.
Whatever happens with Grogu and what happens when him and Ahsoka meet. Like, he's... No matter how mentally sound you are, you're learning different lessons from all these people and getting different things from all these things. You're going to have a crisis conscience of, like, midlife crisis from all of this. Like,
yeah.
I've been told so many different things by so many different people. Like, you getting so old, you thought you knew what was going on. It's like, what's next?
And then he would probably have that, like, sort of self-debate of, like, did Yoda and Obi-Wan just lie to me?
Right?
Like, why didn't they tell me any of this?
Yeah.
And, like, I get why, like, kind of... Well, like, I don't get why they wouldn't tell him any of it, but... Like, I get that they wanted him to be the, like, idealistic Jedi, but, like, it seems like a massive flaw, or, like, a massive mistake for them to have not told him of, like, the errors. Yeah. Or maybe they do also tell him later in his life. Yeah. After Ahsoka tells him, maybe he goes and questions Ghost Yoda.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah. I think that would be really cool.
There's a lot of... They have very different trajectories, Ahsoka and Luke, for their careers, but, like, them coming together would be a moment for all time in Star Wars.
They would also have a really interesting fight, because they're, like, the same size.
Oh my god, that'd be cool to see them fight.
Because the thing is, Ahsoka is especially skilled at fighting people bigger than her.
Yeah. Because
she was a kid during the Clone Wars. That's why she did so well against Vader, because he is just a unit.
Monster. Yeah.
And so, like, she was able to use a lot of those teachings. Her and Luke are, like, kind of the same size.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure as she grew up, she had to adapt her style anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting bigger naturally. But, like, that'd be kind of cool, because we only really ever see her fight people bigger than her.
Yeah, that's true.
Because she's so
she's
small.
She's always tiny.
But yeah, and just, like, how wildly different their fighting styles are.
Yeah, I really hope they do fight.
Yeah,
in animation.
I want them to spar.
I love how every time I talk about them in animation,
because it should be.
Yeah,
because then it's the original Luke and the original Ahsoka. Nothing against
Rosario.
Yeah,
she's great.
She was really good as Ahsoka.
Yeah,
but, like, for that emotional of a moment, I want it to be the original Ahsoka.
Yeah,
personally. And also I have an animation bias anyway, because fighting looks way better in animation.
Yeah. But yeah.
Especially lightsaber fighting.
Yeah. Fucking, have you seen the trailer for Visions? Let's fucking go.
The way she'd, like, be flipping all over him and shit.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is she's way more of an acrobatic fighter.
Oh, yeah.
Luke kind of has more of, like, a knight-like fighting style.
Yeah, swordsman, knight, like Filoni said, yeah.
So, like, it would be like a ninja versus a knight.
Who would win? I guess we'll find out.
Probably Ahsoka.
In the Rebel sequel series coming to Disney Plus never, because they canceled it to make live action shows. But yeah, and then Ezra would be a cool little person to somehow fit into all this.
He's like the midpoint between Ahsoka and Luke.
Yeah,
he's like the weaker Anakin, like, where he has kind of both, but he's just not as good at either of them.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a good discussion. It's fun to talk about. There's so many interesting things they could do with them going forward, and, like, where they're going to end up in their stories. And how they're connected.
I also just kind of hate when anything about Luke is said, because then that's when the toxic fanboys come out in droves.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't even say Ahsoka was stronger.
Yeah, he just
and said, people were just, like, mad.
Can't talk shit about my boy Luke.
Yeah.
There's another reason that we don't love Luke as much as other people.
Yeah. Another reason why Last Jedi Luke is my favorite Luke.
Hard truths.
Hard truths.
Okay,
Hard to swallow pills.
Okay, guys, tell us what you think in the comments below. Who would win a fight, Luke or Ahsoka? Who's
the best duelist?
Who's the best duelist? Who's the more Force user? Who's the better Jedi? Give us all your thoughts on these two characters and why. They're both great in their own way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Oh, I think Obi-Wan might be the best duelist.
Really?
He's
a defensive dude. He's like he ain't on the attack.
He never gets hurt.
Yeah. He's a good...
He did not sustain injuries until his death.
But he's not, like, a good, on the offense.
That's why Dooku always beat him.
Yeah.
So, like, he's not the best duelist, but he's definitely in the top 5.
Yeah.
Just because he never gets hurt.
Yeah, for sure.
I had to point that out, because I forgot.
So, yeah, until next time, guys. Ahsoka lives.